Welcome, everyone. This is Pine Grove News Live. And let's go check and see if we're live. Oh, boy. Yeah, sorry. I just very tired. I called in last night. What is going on with that? Why do I have lightning? Thunder. Oh, well. Anyways, blessings to everyone. Sorry for the slow start here. I'm just in a very big fog. Yeah, so like I said, I was called in last night at around, well, the first time was 8:30 Eastern Time, p.m. And then the second time was 12:02 a.m. the following that night, and ended up having to stay there until 8 the next morning. So, I was up all night. I got about 5 hours sleep, but doesn't do any good. Still feel tired. So, with that, everyone, we're going to, I'll put up the screen for the updated coronavirus that we do every time we come on lately. And if you wanted to know, President Trump is live talking about, now we're talking about, we ran into roadblocks with GM. Anyways, talking about the another update, task force. And go figure, the stock market was down 915.39. I don't know what what prompted that, but in any case, how can you, if you really could predict that, right? People would be rich, like the 4 senators who are now under review or for doing just that at a particular time. Yeah, so a couple of things here I have in the notes that will not be in the headlines. Let's see, UConn health worker, that's UConn, University of Connecticut health worker, coughs on co-workers. Right now, that I've heard earlier today, I don't know if he had coronavirus, maybe he did. But in any case, I mean, these people should probably be let known that you could face a water charge. Somebody gets this, catches it and dies. I mean, that's just like when people started getting arrested for spreading the AIDS virus, knowing that they had AIDS, HIV. And Prince Charles, he tests positive. Of course, that was after he went into some hospital and started shaking the hands of all the coronavirus patients. What would you think it was going to happen then, right? In any case. So that's the brief news, the notes that I got that you will not see in the headlines, at least here at the moment. So this is the latest update, 586. That is a little more than 500,000 people tested, positive. And of course, if we had more tests to test everyone, there'd be a lot more. So don't you think that that's not going to happen? Total deaths so far, 26,865, still below the normal flu that comes around every season. Okay? So put those two figures together. And the U.S. tops the list as number 1 for the most confirmed cases. But come on, people, we should know that because we're getting the test out there. We're getting the test. People are testing and being tested. And there's going to be a lot more. If we have more tests, there's going to be more on that list. That's it. That's, so it's not really the true numbers. You could just figure that it's a lot higher. And you figure 70% of this world is going to get this virus that, to me, has been manipulated to be very infectious for a particular reason. And so, on that note, let's go. I don't know what happened to the last couple of days of these, because I normally, do a screenshot every day of this virus, but I can't find any data for the past 3 days. So this was back 3/23. This was actually 4 days ago. So I don't know what's going on, but it's there somewhere. I don't know. My alarm's going off. Obviously, somebody came to the house. Really wish I could afford to buy these egg things to put on the walls so we can kind of dampen out some of that noise. I don't know if you guys hear it, but it's definitely annoying when I hear it here. So we are live at PGN live stream and on YouTube. And we are live on mixler.com/12pine. And this will be uploaded at the moment to 12pine.com. I think I'm going to be changing that and change it to PGN Live. PGN. And so let's, before we get into some other stories, of course, about the coronavirus, let's go to our weekly activity report for volcanoes. This is from the Watchers. The dates is from March 18th to the 24th. Okay, so new activity and unrest was reported for 2 volcanoes. So during the same time period, ongoing activity was reported for 16 volcanoes. I mean, I can't even imagine that. I keep thinking about the one and, keep reminding you about that one that changed the climate, the growing process, at least for a year or two back in the 1800s. So 16 ongoing volcanoes. So in any case, yeah, I know he's here now. My son and the rest of the family's here. They know I go online at 6 o'clock. So, in any case, yeah, be patient with me, people, because it'll get worse once the warm weather gets here, and there'll be a lot more voices. That's why I don't know. If I continue to do this, I'm going to need some kind of, booth. Some kind of booth I can go in and, even if it's just, one of those school desks that you remember when you were a child that were pretty small and put it in a booth with a microphone. Anyway. So let's talk about this for a second, because this is what everyone is talking about. Well, upset about, depends on who you are. HR 748. That is the new stimulus package. So it's my son brought my motorcycle back home. Usually store it in his place because he has a closed garage. I just have these canvas garages, very breezy and very susceptible to the pine trees and their branches that break off during the winter, land on top of the tent. Those things are not cheap. I mean, the cheapest material type ones, that look like a tarp, are close to $300. And you got to buy one every couple of years because they dry out in this little sun that we have on this property. So update 2040 ET, 12 hours after the Senate was supposed to, and this is from Zero Hedge, and it has the full bill in a text format that you can go read. I'm going to go, I got a link right here. I'm going to go later to download and look more into. So 889 pages for this $2 trillion stimulus bill. So detailing, let's see, stimulus spending, push tax breaks, and generally boost the U.S. economy during and after coronavirus outbreak. So not everyone's going to be getting this so-called, $1,200 checks for adults and $500 for a child in your home. It all depends. And the IRS, or let's just say the state income tax, at least Massachusetts has. I don't know about Connecticut where I live, but they have pushed their dates to file up to meet the federal change, which is July. So instead of having April, 18th or something like that, 15th or the 18th, you now have until July. So, yeah, I mean, most people, that I know anyway, have money coming back because they just take too darn much out of our paychecks. And you certainly don't want to pay like I have to this year, and there's no reason why that should be going on, which is why for the first time, probably 15, I don't know, maybe double that, years that I've been doing my own taxes. So, I don't know. When I'm trying to do the non-residential income tax for Massachusetts, because I don't live there, they got me down for income on one bracket with like $379,000. When obviously her income is, I don't know, probably a fifth of that. Yeah, both of us together make under $60,000. Which is not much in Connecticut. Still borderline poor, I believe. Yep. Connecticut is very expensive. Though the gas did go down to $1.99. We were talking about that the other day on Facebook. Some people got it, I don't know where, Georgia? 78 cents a gallon or something like that. Kind of hard to imagine. I remember 59 cents back in 1978. Same, price for a pack of cigarettes was the same. 59 cents. Now it's over $10 for a pack of cigarettes. Yeah, believe it or not. Yeah. So, I don't know if I should go over this with you. Some of these things that they're doing. We'll just go over briefly. Plan includes $500 billion in loans and assistance for larger companies, as well as states and cities, according to the latest drafts. Companies receiving government loan would be subject to a ban on stock buybacks. But they're also telling these people that if they take the loan out, they're going to have to pay it back in 3 months. So I don't know what kind of a stimulus package that is, besides, trying to support your business while your employees and or your customers aren't coming to your place of business. It's just all, yeah, you got to take the loan out. I don't know if it's got to be zero interest and have to pay it back. So it's not really stimulus. So we're getting that money back. So where's that money going that they're going to get back from these loans after they lend it out? Well, I say put it back into Social Security where you took it from and leave the thing alone. Yeah. There was a thing going around on Facebook the other day. I don't know if there is a 28th Amendment to the Constitution, but in any case, that number was the number that was discussed on Facebook, kind of an outline or a guideline of what they wanted to put in that amendment, the 28th Amendment. And I think we talked about it, and one of them was that we don't pay if one Senate, person, did one term, they would get their full pay for the rest of their lives after that. And what kind of crap is that? I mean, they get better insurance. They don't have to follow the laws that they freaking dish out to everyone else. People, this country is messed up, and we need to take a hold of what's going on. We need to pray. Um, well, at least that God gets back into this country and we put everything under his rule, okay? And then maybe things will look better. Because if we don't do that, no, it's not going to be pretty. This is just beginning, apparently. My son called me today and told me that he was supposed to be starting a new job on Monday, and they put it on hold, like everyone else is doing, because they're unsure of the economy. You're giving these $1,200, and it says right here, okay, cash for citizens, gig workers. The package provides direct payments to lower and middle income Americans of $1,200 for each adult, as well as $500 for each child. Okay, Democrats were able to secure change from a previous version that allows low-income taxpayers to get the full $1,200 payment, whatever that means. So, unemployment insurance payments were boosted, and recipients would be eligible to receive those funds for an average of 4 months, up from 3 in the prior GOP plan. But anyway, there you go, $1,200. But what are you going to spend it on? Everything's closed. Well, takeout food. Groceries are hard to come by. Toilet paper, good luck with that. We still been looking for, it's 2 weeks now. I guess I could go, if I really, put my mind to it, I can go and stop in every shop down the street and go back and forth until I find something. And I'm sure I'll find something. It might cost, a couple fingers. But I've heard reports that there are toilet paper in places like convenience stores that we call them here, 7-Elevens, stuff like that. That's what we call convenience. And they, everyone knows that the price is much higher at the convenience store because it's a convenience. During Thanksgiving when you forgot something, you can go to the store and they're conveniently open for you, because you forgot something, and you're going to pay for it though. In any case, $25 billion to passenger carriers. They're talking about, and this is what I want to get into. So you can go read this up. It's very boring stuff. Amtrak getting $1.202 billion, $25 billion, like we just said, for passenger carriers, and $3 billion to airline contractors providing ground staff, such as caterers. Yeah, and all those people who are now jobless because, the rich sports basketball players, blah, 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 on and on and on, are now, not playing for fear of coronavirus, which is whatever. If you want to put this thing and limit it to the amount of people who get it, yeah, you'll have to totally shut everything down. And in any case, all those people that, vended, that those events no longer have their jobs. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't think, whatever, man, but this is what's going on. It's not going to be fair. And how the Democrats or the Republicans, okay, have put these things in this bill to get more money in their pockets is, I don't know, what's the word for it? It's just, I don't know what the word for it is, besides the fact that the greedy leaders, the elite, the powers that be, they don't care about you, so they'll give you a measly $1,200, which probably won't even pay for some of your mortgages. And that's just a one-time payment. I don't know. As far as I heard, it's a one-time payment. Nobody's going to spend it. Well, I can't say nobody. There'll probably be somebody who go out and spend it on alcohol if they remain open. Package stores remain open. Cigarette stores remain open. They're essential. I believe that they are. While, places where my son works, like automotive care, they remain open, but nobody's going because they can't. They don't want to spend the money. They're holding on to their money for because they're unsure. They're not. trusting in what's going on. I don't blame them at all. Not at all. There's a lot of people for years, though, have been using their savings in order to keep their style of living. I mean, they could back off on some of the things that they buy or do and, make it last longer. But no, it's all about the credit cards, borrowing, owing. So let's see. I guess that's it. We'll do for that. 16 billion personal protective. These things that, are a must. And President came on one of his, he's still on. Be on for at least another 20 minutes. Well, yeah, the president came out, I guess it was today. It wasn't in the live briefing, at least I haven't heard it because it's on mute. But, yeah, he's actually ordering people to make these ventilators. He's not asking anymore. He says he's telling people to make them. And some brewery is actually making cleaning fluid, switched it over from making beer or whatever they were making, which is a great sacrifice and American. That the generosity of Americans in a time of trouble is sometimes kind of, just don't have the words for it. It's just overwhelming. Yeah, I mean, there was a time, look, World War II, we were making refrigerators in factory lines and TVs and all this other stuff. And we were in a time of, much luxury, Of course, there's always poor people. Jesus said there would be. Okay. I hope that there's not going to be when he comes and rules and reigns. I'm sure it'll change then. Yes, because he said then to his apostles, yeah, you will not always have me, but you'll always have the poor, but you'll not always have me. So anyways, we can always be in the presence of Jesus if we keep our, spiritual being prepped for that. Yeah, we can carry them around in our heads and our hearts and in our minds and souls and everything that we say and do. Sure, we can do it, but it's hard. I'm telling you, and this is what, God has put me back into the workforce on the clock, struggling in the world, not struggling too hard, believe me, because he is providing, enough so we can pay our bills, and get food and actually love to be able to give to people. So he's even providing, mostly for that too. And that's all I need. Of course, the $380 extra payment per month for insurance. And that is big. That hurt a little bit, especially for what they pay. They're not paying much for my prescriptions, which is the main reason I get it. But anyway, let's move on. Okay. Enough of this, enough of my soapbox. We're already way too long. All right, FBI says man killed in shootout wanted to blow up a hospital during a pandemic. Folks, you're always going to get people like this, right? You're always going to get people. Just like the one we talked about with the nose, Yukon, health worker coughs on his co-workers. You got the freaking actor or actress, whatever you want to call her. She's just totally evil and demented, putting out a challenge to lick toilet bowls, and other people going around coughing and licking product out there, so that now people have to throw the stuff away. I mean, it's bad enough we're getting all those reports. Where is it? In Mexico, right? They had a hailstorm in Mexico. Where is that? It's got to be this one right here. Yeah, from the Watchers. It happened, 2 days ago, but here you go. Intense hailstorm hits Mexico's capital, destroying its main food market. There are a lot of stories about these headlines, these things, about, here on the right-hand side. The desert locusts are still out there, okay? Oh, I just hit the button to forward to it, too. Anyways. The outbreak remains extremely alarming. It's still going on, man. New swarms continue forming and invading Africa and Middle East. This is one of the 10 plagues, and it's still going and growing. I mean, they were big enough before. I mean, let's not forget about this. It's also a plague, a pestilence, spreading out, eastern part of Africa, going into Saudi Arabia, Iraq, all these countries, gotta watch out for that too. So let's go on. Here's some other headlines about the coronavirus. This AOC, I mean, I really can't stand watching her anymore. I can't even stand her on TV. I mean, Obama does it, Clinton does it, she does it, Pelosi does it. What I mean by does it is they come on TV and start talking, and I get this irritation. In any case, my problem, I don't know what it is, but they do. I mean, and Biden's starting to do that now too. I've actually talked to this guy who I weighed for, let's see, 6.5 hours. Young guy, intelligent guy. We're talking about these things, about the virus, about politics, and he was mentioning Biden. I mean, why are the Democrats, supporting Biden? You can't even remember half the stuff that he's done, or where he is, or what state, what town he's in, and they're going to put him up against Trump. Yeah. Anyways, we discussed that. I don't think that Biden is the actual one that's going to be running. He'll get in debates, and like I said before, just an opinion, just an assumption, maybe a conspiracy theory, maybe a conspiracy. But somewhere along the line, he's going to get in a heated debate with Trump, and he probably will have a heart attack or something like that. I don't think he's healthy enough to be in there, and he shouldn't be. I mean, let alone, the other accusations that may be well-founded about touching people. But in any case, yeah, I was able to talk to this gentleman about these things. And a lot of people now, especially now, it had to take a pandemic, right? Forget about the floods and the fires that we've been going through for the past, 3 years at least. Nobody woke up then. Food's disappearing now because of all this, wacky, chaotic weather. 500 days to weather chaos. Yeah. Well, it's been quite much longer than that. Well, maybe another year on top of that. So, yeah, we get just story after story of crops not growing, partial crops. Of course, they do happen. I mean, they don't grow a new crop every year. It just doesn't happen all the time. In any case, the UK, and I know this is a little off topic, but, farmers are getting bailouts too, and it's not enough. We know that there's other problems with the farmers. I mean, they're one of the people that are on the list, including most Americans, of being depressed and suicidal. Yeah, that's what happens when you depress a nation. They become suicidal. And there's like I said, there's a report somewhere in here. So the UK health chief warns coronavirus lockdown could last 6 months. And they're talking, though, to stop the second wave. Now, I guess they're going through the first wave, and apparently there's going to be a second wave. Anybody else hear about a second wave of this coronavirus? I know there may be another strain out there that's in Italy, and they had another huge report. Remember, the last one was 600 and something in one day. And this one now, 919 deaths in 24 hours. Highest single death toll since the outbreak began. Yeah, and they're the one that broke the last record of that 600 plus. I really don't know what's going on, except that they are in cahoots with the Chinese, spend a lot of time with them, do a lot of business with them. I think there may be this second strain there. If it's killing that many people, do they have, I mean, we all have our elderly, and they are, still big in number, right? So, in any case, I'm going to try and research that and find out the death rate, the age range on who's passing over there. Because you got other people, talking about this 18 to 49 range, and I don't see a lot of that being spoken of. You may find here and there, like this big talk a day or so ago about an 18-year-old who was a I don't know, I guess he was pretty healthy, into sports. But anyways, and he dies. I think it was something else, but they were claiming it was from the coronavirus. And anything can happen, man. Anything can happen. I don't put nothing, that the Lord cannot do. Nothing at all. And we could talk about that too. Nothing at all. Well, does he do these things on purpose? I don't know. I don't think so. But he allows it to happen because, I mean, what's he going to do? Step in every time somebody breaks a nail, or scratches a knee? No, that's not why we're here. We're here to go through a fiery trial, people. Once we believe in Jesus Christ, then the trials come. Then your faith, which you build up, he gives you. Nothing that you can do, but he builds that up in you, and you're able to handle more, and you will get more. You will. But it's an awesome process. And yeah, we don't say that when we're going through the trials, of course. Not even me. I've thought I was at my last, breath a few times, and then he says, no, you're able to handle it. And he won't give you more than you can handle. That's his promise. So don't you worry about that. This from the BBC News. Coronavirus. Mexicans demand crackdown on Americans crossing the border. Yeah, they've done that. They've closed the borders. Mexico doesn't want Americans in there. And I guess in another place, I'm not sure where that was, but maybe it was Mexico. Yeah, they're giving them until noon on Sunday. Here it is. City of Myrtle Beach leaders asked most visitors to leave by Sunday at noon. Get out of Dodge, sundown. Yeah, Myrtle Beach. Well, that's obviously not Mexico. Believe it's in the Carolinas. Not sure. Ocean Boulevard. Yeah, South Carolina. Yeah. Things are going to get worse. The lockdowns are going to be more. U.S. surpasses China in infected. We saw that right here, right? We're up there at the top at 97,226, 97,000. China dropped to number 3 at 81,000. And we're ahead of even Italy. That's because we're testing more, because we're getting these tests done. You're not going to like the figures. And they're not, the true figures. We know that. So let's see. Okay, Myrtle Beach. Yep, Italy. Yep, 19. Yeah, these. Okay, along with those 4 senators or whatever that supposedly are under investigation for insider trading. Getting information and then pulling their money out or buying something else. I think it was pulling money out. You have this story that I've heard about past couple days that I didn't know about, but it's been out there a while. These CEOs, and this is from the American Dream. Why did hundreds of CEOs resign just before the world started going absolutely crazy? Why? Because they probably had something to do with it. They have their underground cities. They have their bunkers, their tunnels, their oasis away from the, slave class, the dirty deplorables, So in the months prior to the most ferocious stock market crash in history and the eruption of the biggest public health crisis in our generation, we witnessed the biggest exodus of corporate CEOs that we have ever seen. And as you will see below, and I'll show you some of those companies, we won't read a lot of this. Corporate insiders also sold off billions of dollars worth of shares in their own companies just before the stock market imploded. We know that. So in life, timing can be everything. And sometimes people simply get lucky. But it does seem odd that so many of the corporate elite would be so exceedingly lucky at the same time, right? So in this article, it says, I am not complaining to know the motivations of any of these individuals, but I am pointing out certain patterns that I believe are worth investigating. Here, anyways, there are the patterns. It's all started last year when chief executives started resigning in numbers unlike anything we have ever seen before. Here are the companies, and there's quite a few here that, ring in the head of, especially when it comes out with this stimulus package and some of these companies that we're hearing, like Boeing. I mean, just look at this list. All the list down here, mostly it lists the company first and then the name. The very top of the list, Dennis Muhlenberg is listed first and then the company, Boeing, which is getting a pretty hefty chunk of this stimulus package. Then you get into, United Airlines and these other companies, Alphabet, Cap, McDonald's, Wells Fargo, Under Armour, PG&E, okay, who came out and pleaded guilty to manslaughter of quite a number of people, admitted to the DEW weapons and that they were testing, and just test went out of control. This is the latest from Mike Morales, I believe, Plain Truth. And well-founded documentation and data, yes, from both of those YouTubers, and that's why they're always attacked. So, anyways, Kraft, Heinz, HP, big Bed Bath and Beyond, Warner Brothers, Best Buy, the New York Post. You got to take some of these names and you know where they come from. eBay, MetLife, another insurance company. Now, these are the CEOs that are resigning. Okay. Before, just a few of the well-known CEOs that have resigned so far in 2020. I guess that was 2019, the ones we just mentioned. So now this year, Bob Iger. It's very distracting when your family is walking around the windows and everything. So Harley Davidson, T-Mobile's MasterCard CEO, Keith Block, CEO of Salesforce. Anyways, Hulu CEO, Randy Freer. Just, it just goes to show you, it's, almost downright in your face, a lot of times, proof that these elites, these, high-powered rich people, probably instigate, if not, plan, like Event 201, that we've talked about. Go look at it. There's a lot of people that still point to it. I would still point to it because it's still happening. I might even go there myself and find out what the end of it is. I didn't read that far. I didn't see it that far. But anyways, now we got Bill Gates warns lockdown could last 10 weeks and should be nationwide. Yeah, it should be. Guarantee you he has he could be locked down, but it'd be like, us being in the big city. Yeah, it probably has a bowling alley there and, who knows, tennis court inside, Olympic-sized swimming pool. I don't know. I'm just assuming that's what people do with their money. It's what I would do. Well, what I would probably used to do, but no, this day and age, no, I would make sure that and all our bills were paid and got that out of the way, and then buy, some ranch somewhere, and move all the family there and whatever friends and brothers and sisters. Yeah, a compound. We'll just build ourselves a big cult. Yeah. I mean, that's what I think about Christians anyway, right? This cult. So this billionaire philanthropist also said that President Trump's statements about potentially having the county open again in April are not realistic. Why not? Well, people seem to forget that Trump got where he got not because he's stupid or ignorant. He's pretty smart when it comes to, he wrote the book, The Art of the Deal, right? That's who he wants to at least bring this country back to its feet, making money again. And that's another thing that I have. I guess it's a conspiracy theory, right? That all this is starting to happen just before an election year or in a election year. They've, canceled some of these polls and some of the voting until later. I mean, what else are they going to do? Who benefits from there not being election besides Trump? I mean, but that's not who's benefit. I mean, they're actually taking what Trump has done in 3.5 years and basically destroying it in a few months, right? Taking the economy down. Of course, that's been a plan for a long time until Trump got in there, and he's not that person. He's very positive and enthusiastic. Okay, and anyway, that's what you see anyway. All right, bats are dying in Israel. A lot of animals are dying. Some people are still claiming, and it could possibly be, that this is all a test of the 5G being covered by the coronavirus umbrella. But I say, could the coronavirus pandemic spark the next spiritual awakening? I think that's a possibility. But you know what I think? I think it's a possibility that we'll have a rapture before we have, this spiritual awakening. It may be coming at the same time. Maybe God will actually figure out. He already knows everything. I don't know. Yeah, it's because we don't, his mind obviously is not our mind. It's not even close in any aspect. But anyway, so that's all I got, people. That's it. It's Friday. I'm going to get some rest. I'm going to do a lot of reading, and we'll go from there. So God bless everyone. Have a great weekend. Enjoy your Sabbath. Enjoy your family. Now I guess you got time to spend with your loved ones and your family, hopefully, unless they're locked down somewhere else. Yeah, my wife's going back to New York for 2 weeks again. And she may have even been locked down there somewhere along the line. Who knows? I mean, even, I guess his name, Blasio, the New York governor or mayor, one of those two, are talking about opening up New York too. That's too long. Consequences are too high. In any case, God bless everyone. Peace out.